the stock market, meaning companies' new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving.
The show goes on.
They're nuts. They know nothing.
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now. Welcome, my degenerate. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, from Bitcoin and darknets to political betting. And of course, right here, the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. I'm your host, Brian Micon, financial genius, Bitcoin 2011, and plays poker. Joining me are my fellow degens, Matt Glantz, Brett Ritchie. Glantz is a former options trader from the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, and Brett is the head of Blitzpick. This whole thing is put together by Tony, the producer, and this is Market Mania! Yeah! Let's get right into it today. Yet another crazy day in the markets. Matt Glantz, good to see you again. We're all back. It's one big happy family. What's going on today in your fund and in the markets as a whole?
Markets are a little red today. They're down like 1%. Funds doing well. We're up a little over 2%. No big deal. Got short when the conflicting news between Powell and Trump came out. So that was a good spot to get short by SPY puts today. So that's working out well. Brett, what's going on over in Robinhood world? It's probably not so good today.
Well, it started off good for the Robinhood traders, up 3% or so. Or I guess that was just your fun. But either way, not great, but not bad. I'm just treading water over here. I'm still holding on to a very heavy 100% all-in overstock bag. Like a true fish trader, I'm hoping to get back above break even and then sell it. But if I do find something else that catches my eye, potentially my pick of the day today, I'm going to be jumping ship. So I'm not long for overstock. I'm going to tell you that. I've had enough. It's been a couple days. I'm bored already. Let's go.
Had enough.
The big story today, Trump walks from stimulus. You still got the February Trump market at about 12 to 14 cents, depending on where you go, to win $1, 10 to 1 or so on Betfair. It's a dictator market. It's an election fraud market, depending on really how you feel about it. Now, the stimulus is off the table, though, isn't it, Brett?
It's on me. So Mike, what happened today was it kind of leaked. It wasn't like an official news announcement, but kind of leaked that Trump's like getting cold feet and walking away from the stimulus deal now. I think he realizes if he pushes for stimulus and gets an agreement with Senate, the market would probably fly 5-10%. And he doesn't want to see the market go up. He wants to watch the market burn now. He doesn't want to see the market go up while he's losing the election. So I'm not saying he's trying to hurt people, but he's not really thinking about the people that are, need money for food or rent. He just thinking of himself, and he wants the market to go up if he was going to win the election. Wants the market to prove to people that they didn't want Biden to win, so that he wants the market to go down. So it was great when we saw this come out today, at least for me, for the fund, seeing him say that he's going to walk away from stimulus. I started getting a little short, and then 10 minutes later, Chairman Powell, Fed chairman, came out and said we need some kind of help from Congress, like stimulus kind of related stuff. And knowing that Trump's not going to budge, I thought that was a perfect time to get short the market. So we've fallen quite a bit since then.
So I don't know.
Richie,
yeah, I'm not sure.
What you got on this one?
I don't feel quite as strongly as Matt. One, my belief was both before and after the election, both parties are just going to do whatever is in their own self-interest, not really care about the people. I did think there's a pretty good chance of sour grapes from the losing side, which we're seeing here. But it's really up to McConnell, right? Trump isn't that big of a player in whether a stimulus gets done or not. And by all accounts, McConnell, these guys are still going to be in office. They're still should be working toward a stimulus. So just because Trump is throwing a tantrum, I don't think that necessarily hurts the stimulus talks that much. It's just both of these parties are just so entrenched in what's best for themselves as opposed to what's best for the people. It's still hard to see a deal getting done anytime soon.
Socialistic redistribution of public funds, begging for it, and it turns out your leaders don't really care all that much about you. Moving along, the low inflation quarter. This The CPI number, ladies and gentlemen, Brett Ritchie, what do you got
Yeah,
here?
so interestingly enough, you would think with the massive stimulus, I think a lot of people expected inflation to go much higher. This past quarter, I believe it was 0.2% growth compared to 1.2% the year before. And so it slowed a bit when you would think with all these stimulus checks going out, inflation was going to go up faster. So it's kind of like a lot of people don't necessarily know what they're talking about when it comes to inflation or even the CPI, which tends to be a somewhat gamed metric. I believe Tony has some thoughts over here on the CPI and inflation.
Yeah, the thing about the CPI is it's kind of a canard. It doesn't really calculate the things that people actually pay for. And the minute something starts to go up in price, they pull it out of the CPI and then they readjust based on the things that aren't actually going up. But if you look at the things people pay for, housing, energy, education, medical, the important things, cars, everything, that's all skyrocketing. Assets, real estate. Most people can't even afford a house anymore. The inflation is there, and it's here in a massive way, and it's asset inflation, and that's starting to spill over into the real economy. You'll start to see milk go up and things at the grocery store, and then the minute it does, they'll pull it out of the CPI index and then say, hey, inflation's flat. So this whole thing is just sick. I hate seeing articles like this. It's a lie, in my opinion. I don't know. Am I crazy, Brian? Am I just...
It makes sense to me. I'll say that. I mean, obviously, housing and medical costs are really expensive in college, education. All of these things are skyrocketing. So that, to me, seems like that should be part of inflation.
Yep.
I don't
Everything
think you
that's
can
subsidized goes up.
You can't print 22% of the currency and then expect no inflation. I just don't. I gotta readjust my hat here because I can't get my head around it. I don't think that you can just keep printing and expect prices of consumer goods to stay the same.
Exactly. Marco Watt's not asking the right questions here, period. So anyway, that was my thoughts on it. Thanks for pulling me in here.
Later, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate all the hard work Tony, the producer, does to make you Market Mania every single day that it's on. Moving along. SPY rises at night. Now, I've seen this a bunch of times here, and this is actually a very interesting chart. And Brett, take us through this real quick.
Yeah, so essentially, if you look this year at SPY, if you only played the overnights compared to in market hours, the overnight trading, you'd be up. That's where all the gains are, is overnight. And it makes some sense when the market's going up. If you're long into the overnight or the weekend, you're taking on a lot more risk than somebody trading during the day. And there's actually, I saw this study, which I don't know if you have the link to it, but there's a study that digs into this. This is a common theme throughout markets throughout the world. And the reverse holds true when it's going down, by the way, too. In a bear market, you're going to get destroyed overnight. And during the day, it's kind of whatever. So I don't know a whole lot more than I just find that really interesting. Matt, what do you make of this? And is it, obviously people have already thought, why don't we just trade overnight?
I've seen this, Matt. I actually interested to hear what Matt says because I've seen this a bunch of times. Said that you buy SPY right when the market on the last tick of the market close, and then you have 349, 359 every day, and then you sell on the open every day when it opens. I mean, Matt, what do you think?
What could go wrong?
Is that a fund? Is that an ETF out there?
So it's basically a big scam. So the way the market works is it's fixed to go up over a long period of time because people's 401ks are pouring in all the time. There is definitely a bias towards the market going up. There's money going in the market. So when I say it's a scam, it's because the certain guys know when these funds are buying. All the funds buy market on open or market on close. Okay, so they get that information. They can figure it out or get the information tonight at 5 p.m. who's going to be buying tomorrow. Like if Vanguard, who's one of the biggest mutual funds out there, is going to be buying, a quarter of 1% of their portfolio, they're going to be buying tomorrow because they got more inflows. Then they'll be buying the futures overnight because they know they can sell it on the open to the mutual funds. So it's a big scam, huge money maker for the firms that haven't figured it out, and it's a loser for the regular guys like us or like 429 guys. They're just buying into their plans, and they get a little, they get raped for 1/8% each time or each day it's going on. So it adds up over long periods of time, but it's a big scam.
Yeah.
So are you
makes
saying that
sense.
it works? So it's true? If can a retail investor just buy on
like
the
Brett
close
said,
and sell
it
on the
works in a
open?
bull market. Yeah, it
Works
works
in a
in a
bull
bull
market.
market. And in a bear market, you'd want to be selling on the close and buying on the open the next day, because funds will be selling on the open the next day.
And kids, remember, just spy and forget about it. If you ever just want to not worry about the market and you want to lock up your free cash and a traditional, 8-10% per year return over any 30-year period until now, then,
So even though there's no commissions anymore when you're trading stocks, pretty much there is slippage. So when you're trading every day, buying on the close, selling on the open, you are paying some slippage fees, which means the extra amount you have to pay between the bid and the offer.
So, lot of those Robinhood kitties your order book is being sold, and that's how Robinhood is making their money, not on your commission, but you're not getting the right price. That's how it goes. All right, moving along. If anybody followed the pandemic dump and then the possible inflation pump, possible recovery pump, however you want to, characterize that market move from from the March, April lows until what we see today, the gentleman that called it just about as good as you could was Bill Ackman, a legend in Wall Street. His fund, Pershing Capital, I believe, is long time playing great. The big Herbalife short that I guess didn't work out, but that's where he hit my radar like a decade ago. The single best trade turned 27 million into 2.6 billion. This is the insurance. And then Matt Glantz, just kind of tell us, because when he says insurance on CNBC, if anybody remembers, Ackman on CNBC, he's crying. It's like bottom lows. It's SPY 230. And he's like, I believe in the American economy. And he's cashing the fucking shorts and he's sailing it in long. And it's probably a big day for him. Matt, when he says insurance, he just means a bunch of put options, right?
In theory, it's put options, but he's doing credit default swaps. But it's a different part of the market that retail doesn't trade. But basically, if the market craps out and stocks go down, the bonds kind of get priced a different way. And he makes money that way. It is basically buying insurance in the market.
And so these CDFs, if anybody remembers the Big Short, still don't know how it works. I'll raise my hand. Have no fucking clue how credit default swaps work. Did watch the movie. Read a couple Wikipedia pages. That's it. I'm out. Can't figure it out. Not smart enough. But so he's doing it again. What do you think, Brett? I mean, he's about to fire one of the sharpest gamblers is about to fire short again.
I mean, I would assume he already did if he's talking about it now.
He did. It said he did a few days ago.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't think he's going to see 100x again. I feel at that level, it's really rare to see 100x. That is for the much smaller, not liquid markets. I think, as you say, there's no retail, right?
100x aren't every day all over with 27
well, crypto 2017, you might think that was just a standard Tuesday.
I always said Brett has great powers of deduction. I'll tell you. He figures these things out.
Easy to 100x 27.
Not that easy. Not that easy to have the 27 million in the first place, and it's even harder to 100x it from there. But if you do, hats off. I hope he doesn't do it again, right? Because that means the market's buried. People are struggling out there. I want to see a stimulus. I want to see the market go up. I want a pony in every backyard. Let's make it happen.
I am once again asking for public funds to be distributed in a socialistic manner, but not call it socialism.
Thank you, Bernie.
You're welcome. All right. Moving along to the crypto world. Matt Glantz loves these articles, and it is the BCH fork coming up in 2 days. If I can get a little scrolly down there, Tony, we are going to take a look at the one chart you need. Boom, there it is. Looks like not much to your average viewer, but those orange blocks, we get a little down. Those are all signaling for BCHN, not a one signaling for ABC. A lot of people don't know exactly what's happening in the BCH fork. And also, Tony, if we can get the second link there, it's just the cash.coin.dance. And there it is. There's the ticker. This is when this all goes down. It's going to probably be a non-event, but it's always interesting to watch the shenanigans of the BCH network. And in 2 days, 17 hours, the fork, the ABC fork, was scheduled to hit, but miners aren't signaling for it.
Is this big enough? Do we need a Bitcoin Cash Fork live event show? Is it that big?
Probably not this time.
Okay.
But the next one will get you in. We'll get you a new hat for it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic. People are going to watch. It's not quite like the election. That's a once every 4-year show. But this is a cool one to watch, kids. And then, I don't know, Brett, did you hear anything about this? Or is this not anywhere on your radar? Nobody cares?
I don't pay attention at all, but I will say this. I was trying to send my friend $100 in Bitcoin each of the past 2 days. Both times I went, it was a $20 fee attached to it. Obviously, I didn't send it. So there is a need for a better solution for payments out there, obviously, than Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of projects working on this, Bitcoin Cash being one of them. Don't really have a horse in the race. I don't even know the difference between ABC and whatever the other side of the war here is. I don't care, but I do know payments is a really important use case for crypto.
Final thought before Matt Glantz rings the bell on me is that the ABC fork was going to have an 8% tax that would get shipped to the developers. And the developers was sort of a contentious point. Where does that money go? Every single block, 8% was going to be shipped along. So most people are against it, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and that's about that. Now, crypto pick rundown for 2021. Tony, the producer, jumping back on the show 2 times in one show.
2-time Tony.
Yeah, that's a record. That's a record, except for when I screw up at the end and got to laugh at it. But yeah, I didn't have a topic today. I just have been thinking a lot about crypto lately, and we've been getting some comments on our videos, people asking us to go over some crypto picks, and I think we should actually spend a week sometime just doing a crypto week, bring on some guests and talk about latest, greatest, maybe spend a whole episode on each coin. But before then, I just wanted to show the people what I'm looking at for 2021 and let you guys talk about it. One of the ones I'm really excited about for 2021 is this one called Energy Web. And the reason I'm excited about all these coins is because of the relationships they're starting to build and the projects they're taking on. Energy Web has a relationship with Tesla and the Powerwall, and this is going to be a big part of turning everybody's home into a value-generating, energy-generating powerhouse where we decentralize power. Energy Web's going to be the token that helps drive that network. I'm also really excited about XDAI Stake. You were just talking about problems with sending crypto. It gets too expensive. Well, this is a scaling technology for Ethereum that is currently high in the running for the Reddit competition to cryptoize all of their Accolade economy. So I'm excited about XDAI. I really like Theta. This has a relationship with a lot of media producers and streamers. This will be a way to decentralize the streaming economy. And you guys don't know this, but we will be launching on Theta eventually as well, probably next month. I want to get us on the Theta streaming network as well. So we'll be there. And my other big one I'm excited about is Chainlink. They've just got so many relationships out there. They're going to be the Oracle solution for tying crypto to the real world. So very, very quickly, those are some of my picks for 2021 on top of the main ones: Bitcoin, BCH, Ethereum, you know, the important, the big ones. Have those as well. But looking ahead, that's what I like. So maybe I talked a little bit too long there, guys. Have you got any thoughts on these before we close up?
Never heard of any of those except Chainlink, but always fun to research that. Hey, I'll admit to not knowing about the space as much as I should. There's thousands of them out there. I can't.
Shout out to the Link Marines. You guys are great.
Link Marines.
I'll say this: I'll believe it when I see it with some of those, like the Energy Web one. Even Chainlink, in my opinion, it's really good marketing engine. But in terms of like actual important value or solution, I'm not sure how important it is to tie these real world events to the blockchain in a how secure that can be.
It's easy for me to remember that Dash marketing engine from like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, when I see
They're still out
Chainlink,
there.
I'm just like, I hear about it. I'll dig into it. I'm going to look into some of these ones.
Same thing. Ethereum scaling, I'll believe it when I see it. It sounds great, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Could definitely see some big gains if some of these do fulfill their promises, though. So.
And now, thank you, Tony. Thank you
guys.
very, very much. And if you would, my good man, it's time to load up the safety glasses on, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Market Mania pick of the day.
Drop it like it's hot. Everybody stack them to the top.
We try to help you stack them to the top, even though this is not investment advice and you do need to do your own research. Matt Glantz, don't waste anybody's time. What is the pick of the day?
Before I get my pick of the day, I just want to mention that Neo This is our episode 30. I think on one of the first 3 episodes, Neo was our pick of the day because all the sharp guys were buying unlimited call options at the time, and the stock was 18. So maybe that was like 2 months ago. The stock's up $6 today to $49. Earnings coming out early next week. So that one is big from one of our first shows. Anyway, my pick of the day today is Space, SPCE, Virgin Galactic Holdings. They're doing the same thing the last few days. They're just buying unlimited calls in this thing, like it's going to the moon. I think they just announced, I think it's Richard Branson kind of thing, and they're announcing commercial space flights coming in 2021. So this might be a hot commodity going into next year.
Literally going to the moon.
Going to the
They're
literally.
actually not. It's going into geosynchronous orbit or something, or lower than that. But the point is that it's getting closer to the moon than most other physical companies.
Sure.
But all right, so Virgin Galactic, meme stock, Wall Street bets all over it. Yes, it's Branson and Chamath, if I recall, came through with a SPAC, if memory serves. Yeah. Brett Ritchie, what is your pick of the day?
My pick of the day is CETX. Which is Chemtrex. I don't even know how to say it. It sounds right. It's a world-leading diversified industrial and manufacturing company. The main point is I got a hot tip, maybe a lukewarm tip, but like a solid heat level tip from somebody sharp. It's the perfect stock for Robinhooders. It's like $1.20 right now, $1.10 right now. So I think that I'm happy when there's somebody that is way more sophisticated than I am in the markets gives me advice on something like this. I'm happy to ride their coattails. So
it's the Robinhood tail with a low unit cost.
Yeah,
I love it.
Robinhood loves these things, so I'll join the herd.
CETX, never heard of it myself, but you gotta love the unit cost price right there. You could get a lot of them, especially on margin. Do your own research. My pick of the day, I believe, is on the screen right now for you. Next,
BCH.
Bitcoin Cash, baby. When everybody's not talking about something, when it's kind of not in the news and lowest price as relation to Bitcoin in a long time, maybe ever, then that's when I like to scoop some up, and then you can say, all right, well, now then once it gets in the news, then it's so Bitcoin Cash, no one's thinking about it. Got a fork coming up in 2 days. There's a lot of risk. People don't know. People are worried. People are scared. I think the fork's going to be a non-issue, and then I think that after that is settled, then we could get back on the ride and also come to Antigua. Right here in Antigua, we're swirling it around and using it as cash now, and that's pretty fucking cool. So BCH now. On the 12th of November, 12th of November, 2020. Yeah, that's my pick of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for one more episode of the old Market Mania. That's how we do it. We rip it, we get in, we get out. We appreciate everybody watching. We do hope you will like and subscribe on this YouTube here. And while the election is still settling, while your dictator market or election fraud market, depending on how you think about it, is still at 10%, a little bit of uncertainty there, then I like to listen to my girl, Cardi B, to bring me a little calm, little serenity during times like this. And she said from the motorsport track with the Migos and Nicki Minaj, and I quote, "Why would I hop in some beef? Why? When I could just hop in a Porsche. You heard she? Gone do what from who? That's not a reliable source." Like and subscribe here on YouTube and follow us, Market Mania Show, on YouTube or on the Twitter. And we'll see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. up.
The usual, get mad cause I'm looking at your girl.
Switch it up.
I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury, power of turning where I would turn it. Can't lie like it's business to be burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagined it look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe lights like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight? My interview's